agricultural commodities are still very cheap. Wheat, corn, extremely cheap. Also, I hold significant position in gold, but I don't think that gold is that cheap. It's much more expensive than, say, corn and wheat. But you and I, for us, it is difficult to buy wheat and corn, and it's easy to buy gold. But just today I was watching this so funny show. They offered in California. You can have on the street, they offered it $10 a banknote, or 1 ounce of gold. Not one of the person chose the ounce of gold, which is worth $1,800. They all chose the $10. All of them.
Isn't that crazy? I think that's a video put out by Mark Dice, who does this from time to time. And it shows you how ignorant.
I think it's very funny, but it tells me the potential for these kind of investments like gold and silver and platinum is still huge, because the population, 90% don't know about it. But it also shows how many people value $10 so highly. It shows a lot of people have no money at all. So it's Mark, actually, for me, it's kind of a sad story.
Oh, it's a very sad story. Do you see a time where inflation gets so bad that the populace finally wakes up to the fact that gold is a much better safe haven of storing wealth, and there is a shift in preference?
Yes, but the problem is that by the time they wake up, maybe they have no money to buy it.
Right, it may be too late.
This is something to consider. So, I just looked at the charts when 9/11 happened in 2001. Gold shot up, from where to where? From $250 to $280. And after 9/11, it came straight down again to 260. So we have today gold price 1,800. Is it cheap, or is it where it should be? Well, I have my gold, and I accumulated gold since the 1980s. So for me, 1,800 is actually not such a cheap price. When I started to work at White Wealth in 1970, is an American investment bank that then merged with Credit Suisse, first Boston and so forth, and then later Credit Suisse. Anyway, the average account at Merrill Lynch across the whole country in the US was like $3,000.
Wow.
If you opened an account as an executive and the client would transfer 100,000 to you as an account, it was considered a good account. 200,000 was a big account. I had clients 10 million. White Wealth and later Drexel Burnham, they couldn't believe that an individual had $10 million and would trade it like a gambler. Buy and sell, and this is totally different dimensions. Today, you go somewhere and you say, "Oh, I have $1 million." People laugh at you. Even if you come with $1 billion, you're not a rich guy. You need 10 billion. Now the ones from Russia, a lot of them don't have 10 billion anymore.
No, and the ruble. Not only do they have a fraction of the money they had before, but the money they have left over valued in ruble is an awful lot less, right? So,
yeah, sure.
All right. Well, Marc, a couple last quick questions for you. We're going down this slippery slope of diminishing prospects for the vast majority of people in society. Where does this end?
Well, I tell you, in my life, there were many surprises. Some were good and some not so favorable. I never thought when I studied, and as I started to work in the 70s, and as interest rates went on the 10 years treasury to over 15% in 1981, I never thought in my life that it would be possible to have interest rates below 0%. That I never predicted. I never expected that this has happened. Number two, when I grew up, my grandparents, because I went frequently to the houses of my grandparents and my parents, the religion was basically Christian, but it was also, the government is good and we are free. We are the free world, and over there, the communists in China, and over there, the communists in Russia, the Soviet Union, and so forth, they're all evil, but we are good. Because we have democracies, We are free. And what I never ever expected in life is that democratically elected officials could tell the population, you all have to stay at home. And if a guy in the UK, he went out to have a smoke, which I will do in a second, he went outside in his own house, in his own garden, they would come and arrest him. That is something I never envisioned, but now I understand. We have, through democracies, people were told they're free, but actually the government is not identical with the interest of the people. Say you look at people like Biden. What does he have in common with an ordinary guy? Nothing. You look at Kamala Harris or Pelosi. What does Macron and all these European leaders, Trudeau, what does he care about the ordinary trucker, about the ordinary person? Couldn't care less. The only thing he cares is to get the votes, nothing else. And they will do whatever it is, whatever is at that particular moment favorable to get votes. And this is a system that will destruct itself. There's no question about this.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.